Now I started a series called The Road to 10k, seeing how quickly I could turn £1,000 into £10,000 by flipping cars. The one rule, the cars have to be cool. Now most recently I've been working on this Audi S3 which has been sat in a barn for 9 years. Now it's taken a long time to get this car done, so on the side I bought a 1.9 TDI VW Caddy as well. So today we're going to finish up the Audi S3, we're going to get it for sale, and we have reached our £10,000 mark, which means we're going to continue the series on the road to 25k, and we're going to introduce the new car which I have bought for the first vehicle in that series. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how I finished up this Audi S3, take it for its first drive and tell you how much we sold it for, and then we're going to introduce the coolest car you've ever seen.
Before we send the S3 for an MOT, I'm just doing one final check over, and there are a couple of problems that I have found. One, we've got a little bit of a play in this trap rod end, so we're going to change that. We've ordered a new one, and this drive shaft boot has seen better days. I think the boot has been split in the past, and someone's just put a universal one on there, so it's just not meant to go on, so that is always going to fall off. So we've ordered a new drive shaft, and we can just change the whole drive shaft, because it's cheaper and easier than just trying to change this one boot.
Now changing drive shafts on this car is actually quite easy, especially considering how annoying and difficult everything else is. So there's actually 6 multi-spline bolts holding it onto the gearbox, and I'm just taking them off one by one by spinning the wheel and then just putting a screwdriver in just so I can loosen each one off. Now the easiest way to do this is to remove the drop link, and I forgot to film the next bit, but remove this bolt here. This means that you can keep the ball joint attached, and you can keep the trap rod attached, and you can just spin the whole hub out to the right. Now this is a bit where you've got to get a big bar on, and usually these will not move, but what? I can't believe that. Okay, they might move easy, but there's definitely no way this is going to unthread nice either, because these are usually... What?
Right, now this is where the fun begins. Got PTSD from when we did that Fiesta drive shaft. Remember when we did that Fiesta drive shaft, Charlie, and it completely ruined? Right, no, that was a 2018 Fiesta. This is a 2002 S3, right?
Him rounded off the drive shaft.
Are we see if this comes out? Bear in mind, I had to absolutely. Well, we rounded off the drive shaft all on the Fiesta. It's out. No.
Okay, so it turns out I did film removing that bolt. Yeah, so remove that bolt there, and as you can see, you can just swing the whole hub assembly all the way out to the right, and pretty much the shaft is out. Crazy, right?
That is the easiest drive shaft I've ever done in my entire life. Can you believe it, Kieran? I can't believe it. That was probably one of the easiest jobs I've ever done in my entire life.
So the parts were really cheap for this as well. It was actually 50 quid for one drive shaft, or 75 quid or 71 quid with a discount for 2. So I ended up getting 2, just in case the other one needed doing, and it doesn't need doing, so we could have spare shaft. Now I've used these shafts for multiple different cars, and I even use them on my drift car. So if it can handle doing 100-mile-an-hour wheel speed all day, I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine for a road-going S3. And the final job we, well, hopefully have to do on this S3 is the trap rod end. Now this side has been on the car for a very long time. The other side, for some reason, it's had a replacement, but this one is bad. Now it took me long enough just to get the locking nut loose, so I'm not looking forward to trying to getting the actual trap rod end off the tie rod. Now usually all the time the nut won't come off without spinning the whole ball joint, so I find it the best way is to just jack up on that ball joint, and it should press it into the hub and allow you to get the nut off. Now heat is your friend. You're probably never going to get this off without a blowtorch, so I'm luckily we're changing the trap rod, so I don't mind about the boot being ruined on the trap rod end, but just get that thing boiling because it needs to separate from that rust on the tie rod thread, and we don't want to ruin that tie rod thread.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was worried about. Oh, it's getting easier. Come on. It's annoying that this S3 is going to have a better life than I am in 5 years. There she comes. Come on. See, look. Now she knows she's going to America. She's like, all right, then we'll play ball. You reckon? Yeah. Yeah, all right, Lewis, mate. How you doing? Could probably do that by hand now, but I like my hands not with third-degree burns, so...
And the threads in the tie rod are absolutely fine. As you can see, I can actually screw on the trap rod end by hand, almost as if it's new. Now, since we've had a brand new lower control arm on here, it's had new ball joints at some point while it's been parked up on the other side, and since we've put a new trap rod end, we're going to have to do a 4-wheel alignment. Now, I absolutely hate doing this. It is literally one of the least fun jobs to do on a car. So when you pay in a garage to do an alignment and they might charge like 60 quid, it is cheap. It is such a pain putting the sensors on and mounting it up and rolling it back and forth. Honestly, guys, sometimes I would rather just pay 60 quid or 100 quid for someone to do this because I hate doing it so much. But I'm a tight bar steward and we need to make money in this series, so I'm going to have to do it myself. So luckily we got the toe and the caster pretty bang on. Doing camber on a car like this is a little bit difficult when you've not got camber adjusting top mounts, but they were pretty close enough, so we didn't worry too much about the front camber. As long as the toe's straight, it's going to drive straight.
I've gone to move it outside and the engine lights come on. This car, honestly. So let's see what this engine light is. This thing is going to be the death of me.
Now, after scanning it on VCDS, I was getting this fault code, and I was getting a little bit worried. I started to think, is something wrong with the turbo? Is something wrong with the actuator? Is something wrong with the vacuum lines? So I looked under the bonnet, and luckily, it was a pretty simple fix.
So I've looked under the car. This is the boost solenoid, and this was just like dangling down there. So I've just gone for a drive. It's obviously pushed this off because there's no clip on it. So that's just probably just popped off over driving. So I'm just going to make a clip real quick out of something. Cable tie. And then we'll be sweet. Now here is the S3. It's been sat outside for way too long.
So I actually went on holiday and I went away for a little bit of a while, and then I had to go and plan a rally for True Rally. So I've been away for a good 2 weeks or so. And in that time, I took it around for an MOT and actually failed its MOT in the front brakes. By the time I drove to the MOT, I thought the brakes were going to clear up, and they didn't. So I got there and it ended up failing it on the brakes. They didn't pass the brake test. So whilst I was on holiday, I asked AMD to take a look at the brakes for me and see if they can fix it, because I don't have time because I'm away. This is why this car's been sat around for so long. And AMD bled it and bled it and bled it and bled it and bled it. And they said the brakes are working well now, which is good. So we took it round an MOT and it passed. So luckily, AMD said there was some air stuck in the ABS pump and it wasn't cycling the air around. So I'm not sure what they did. I came back and they said, we fixed it. I said, thank you so much, AMD Tuning. You are absolute legends. So today, this car, I'm not leaving this place until this car is for sale, because it needs to go. It's been sat outside for a while now, and annoyingly, the prices of these are dropping and dropping and dropping. You know, when I first bought this car, they were going for 4.5, 5 grand. Now I'm seeing them for like 3.5, 4. So I'm probably not going to make much money on this. So we need to just get it gone and forget about it and learn our lesson. So we're going to take it for the first drive. So I've just got the I stole the battery off this for the Caddy. So I've just got it in there. I'm just got it on charge. And I'm actually intrigued to drive this thing, because it actually drives really nice, other than when it had terrible brakes.
Here we go. The first drive of the S3. Not gonna lie, I've really not enjoyed doing this one. It's just needed too much work. So much work. We are about to go on the public road for the first time. Here we go. Yeah, this car's been an absolute nightmare. Just so much has been done. I've not enjoyed working on it either. The first drive, what does it feel like? It feels like an Audi A3, to be fair. It doesn't feel like anything special, I'm not gonna lie. It just feels like I thought this car would be overall a little bit more like rugged and like raw, you know, but it actually just feels like a nice car to drive. So we're gonna take it home. It's about 20-30 mile drive home. So we're gonna get through the gears, make sure it's boosting, and hopefully we'll have an eventful free drive home. Because if something does, I don't want to jinx it. So I'm not gonna jinx it. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be absolutely fine. What's with this? Oh, whoa! Oh, I'm scared. So fuck it. Let's send it back. There she blows. Definitely in the wrong lane. Oh fuck it, we're gonna have to do someone.
Oh no.
We're gonna have to do someone. Who's getting done? Learner, he's getting done! Get fucking chopped, boy! Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo! Woo-hoo-hoo! I mean, it's a bit uneventful. We're in an Audi on the A13, cruising at 70. Which is a little bit stiffer. It's a little bit like the shocks are just so soft. Oh yeah! Woo! Easy car to drive, really. Right, so the S3 has sold. After that drive, we've sorted everything out. It's actually sold. It's not sold, but it's sold. We've got a deposit from a guy from America. So, funnily enough, I forget how old that car actually is. So in America, in the US, they can import cars that are 25 years old. And he's based in Germany at the minute. So what he's doing is he's flying over next week, picking up the car, driving it back to Germany, registering it with a US airbase, and then he ends his tour here in 2028. So that means he can import it back to the US, and says they don't make them in the US. So this guy's been so cool, he's been so nice. I'm going to pick him up from the airport next Friday, bring him back, he's going to drive the S3 back to Germany. So we've sold the S3, everything is good, and we sold it for £3,950, which puts our total at around 7.5 grand. Now that's after we bought the Caddy and bought all the parts to fix the Caddy. So what we've got to do is sell the Caddy. So I think technically now we've done our £10,000 mark.
Now I just want to stress here, obviously I don't account for time that I've put into this. If I did, I'd be losing a lot of money. And also, I've been working with Autodoc. They've been helping a lot of the build, so I have got some parts for free or a lot cheaper than they would usually be as well, which I also haven't accounted for. I'm only putting what's actually gone out of my bank account to fix these cars. I have seen some comments about people saying that I'm not doing it for real because I'm not accounting for my time, but I'd be filming YouTube videos anyway, so I don't think that really makes a difference. And also, parts-wise, I do have to sell the cars cheap at the end to get them gone fast, so I think the money I'm saving on parts kind of evens itself out at the end anyway.
Because the Caddy is not going to sell less than 2.5 grand. I'm not going to take anything less than 2.5 grand. So I've got 7.5. Caddy's going to sell 2.5. We've made our 10 grand. I'm going to say it. Technically, I don't have 10 grand in my bank because I've just bought this thing and I've not sold the Caddy. But technically, on the spreadsheet, we're at 10 grand. So this video is going to be the road to 25k. Everyone said don't stop this series when you hit 10 grand. So this is going to be the road 25k. This is definitely the coolest car that we've had on the series. Let's pull it out and let's show you what we've got for the road 25k. I'm actually really excited for this. I overpaid a little bit, I think, but it was worth it because it's just so cool. So let's go and have a look at the new car. If you like this manufacturer, you're going to love it. This is a Fiesta XR2i. Now, I don't like Fords. I've been very vocal about that. I gave Ford a chance with a Focus ST and it just said, hey, what a shit car. Sorry if you own a Focus ST, but what a shit car, what a shit engine. I'm joking, Fords are great. Well, this is actually a cool Ford. I mean, all Fords are cool. This is an XR2i, which means it is a Mark II Fiesta. Let's walk around. It is a Mark II Fiesta. Now, this is what hot hatches were made from. Now this is one of the first cars that Ford did which were injected, fuel injection, hence the I, so XR2i, XR2 injection. Now these were massive back in the 90s.
Meet the new Fiesta XR2i, 110 horsepower, electronic fuel injection, sports suspension and ventilated discs. It's a road car with a track record.
Like huge. This is basically the car that started max power, you know, and these came out of the factory looking like this. What a cool looking car.
So originally, this is a 1991 XR2i. So it is one of the first XR2is, and it is actually a genuine XR2i, which is really rare to find nowadays. Now, there's something really good about this car, which makes it even more special. But let's talk about the XR2is as a whole, and we're going to talk about the negatives of the car, and then we're going to end on what I think is the coolest thing about this car. This is when Ford still built them in England. Now, interestingly enough, this Fiesta was actually built in Dagenham, which is around 20 minutes that way. So this has a lot of history with people and with middle-aged men, around people in Essex, and that's where we are now. So this is a special car around here, and when I had this on the trailer, it was getting so many looks, especially being so close to Dagenham, where these were originally built. Now, hot hatches today are not really hot hatches. They're not designed really for you to be driving around like a knob. This one genuinely was. This weighs under 900 kilos and it has everything that basically a sports car has. It's got super stiff suspension, upgraded anti-roll bars. It comes with no ABS, no traction control, none of that. This is actually a proper raw driving car. The only problem was this, when they first come out with these, is they're a little bit low on power. They came with around 100 horsepower, which isn't too bad in the early 90s, but that was a big downside to this, and that's going to lead on well to why this one is quite special. But before we get to that, we're going to go over the bad parts about this car and why I got it quite cheap. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of gaffer tape over the car. The main one is here. There's a lot of gaffer tape here, and obviously this being a sunroof model, which the XR2is did, there's gaffer tape over parts on the sunroof. Now, you can probably guess that what they are is covering rust. It is covering rust. This car, like most cars from the 90s, but especially the old Fords, they like to rust quite well. Now, this isn't actually that bad because it has been stored for quite a long time of its life, but we are going to have to do quite a lot of rust. There is a load of a big rust patch here. There's a rust patch on the roof, and you can't see it right now, but both of the floor pans are rusty as they're coming up into the front subframe. I can't show you that now, and that's all that I know for sure. There's definitely going to be more rust, and we're going to have to do a lot of rust repair on this. So it came with a spare sill. Obviously, someone's bought a sill for a reason, because probably some of the sills have gone as well. Now, another bad thing is I bought this and it's not running. It does not run. I haven't heard it run. I haven't even heard it turn over, and I've not even seen the engine turn over. I kind of just trusted the guy and I just went off it. Realistically, I didn't really care. It was a cool car. I was going to get it. So I don't know that this engine actually runs at all. The guy said it does run, but when he took the immobilizer off, he couldn't get the fuel pump working again. So there's potentially an engine issue or potentially just a fuel pump issue. We're obviously going to find that out. Now, perfect. Engine. Let's go over what's under the bonnet. Actually, no, first, I'll show you the interior. Look at that interior. Does that not scream 1990s? And yes, we have the wingtip seats. The seats here, apparently they're quite rare. So I think these are out of a later XR2i. So it's kind of had bits of upgrades here and there, but look how cool it is in there. I cannot wait to drive this thing. So we're going to pop the bonnet and we're going to show you why this is an extra special car. Just, I'm in a bit of trouble. Just some Ford things. Has that done it? I didn't hear a clip. What was... Oh, we've done it. Come over here. Whoa, ho, ho. Whoa, ho, ho. It's a fully forged 2JZ. No, it's not. It's not a 2JZ. It's an RS 1800 engine, which is pretty cool. So this is the engine that came. It's an RS 1800. So this came out of the Escort XR3is. And this is producing around 130 to 150 horsepower. So from the original engine, that's a 30% increase in power. 150 horsepower doesn't seem a lot. When you compare that to a 100 horsepower engine, it is a lot. And the original engine in this was a single cam. It's got a CBH. Single cam, really old school type engine. This is a Z-Tech engine. So they ran these up until the 2000s. So that you can actually map these. They have ECUs, you can map them, they're reliable, you can upgrade them, you can tune them, they're easy to work on. But I don't know if this runs. But nonetheless, I've heard It's got a chip on the ECU, and it's obviously got a K&N intake. So this should be running around 150 horsepower. And the exhaust on the back of this is actually really nice. Some kind of exhaust system on it. So I can't wait to hear this. I'm excited for this one. I actually can't wait to get this running. Now, initially, I was going to just put a cam belt on this, but you can actually see the cam belt there, and it's actually in decent condition. We're going to make sure it spins over by hand first before we actually start cranking it over, but we need to give it fuel. Well, that's what I think. So I'm not fully sure of how bad this engine is and how bad it is underneath rust-wise, but I paid for this car £2,200, which isn't that cheap considering it's been off the road for so long, I've not heard it running, and it's rusty. But I thought, it's round the corner, it's going to be a super cool car to A, work on, and B, do, and it's going to be a really nice car at the end, because don't forget, when you've got, chassis rust is okay, because, you know, you can just cover it under seal, paint it black, and you're done. When you've got body rust like this, it takes a long time to do, and not only that, you've got to get it painted afterwards. So that's why body rust is really expensive to do, because you've got to get it painted. And when you've got things like this, where the roof comes down into the A-pillar, and then also I've got rust over here, where this comes up into the A-pillar, up into the roof, it's one section of car. And if you want to do a proper job, you're probably looking at a full respray. And this is a rare colour called Mercury Grey as well, which is what makes this car even more cooler. It's a rare Mercury Grey, genuine XR2i, which is a really cool car. So we paid $2,200 for it, which isn't that cheap, but potentially we might make some good money. I mean, realistically, this car is probably worth around 5 or 6 grand. I'm not quite sure. Maybe people in the comments might tell me I'm wrong. Well, I've done a quick search online, and you can pick up some decent examples like 5 or 6 grand. So there might not be too much profit, but I thought for the videos, I think it'd be really interesting to do. So I love this thing. I can't wait to drive it. In the next video, we're going to pull it inside. We're going to take all these trims off, and we're going to see how bad the rust is, and we're going to get the engine running. Because once you get the engine running, you have a lot of motivation to crack on with the boring stuff and the hard stuff, which is the rust. So for now, we love you all. Road to 25K, baby!